thank you so much for joining in. And today we are with yet another webinar, Thursday webinar from Insightstap. For everybody who is just tuning in, this is the part 2 of a continuing series that we are doing on HubSpot ABM. So what we did was we are gathering some of the most frequently asked questions when it comes to HubSpot and ABM, which is account-based marketing. And we are clubbing it together in form of webinar, and we are trying to answer as much as possible. All right, so this is the part 2 of that session. If you want to, just go ahead and click and watch the part 1, and then you can come now to this webinar. Even if you have not watched part 1, you can continue with this one. And the idea is to answer as many questions as possible when it comes to HubSpot ABM. So if you are into B2B sales, B2B marketing, if you want to learn the new strategies, then you are at the right place. My name is Ritesh Osta, and I am one of the top-rated Fiverr Pro freelancer in the category of B2B sales and B2B marketing, go-to-market strategy, performance marketing, AI app development, and like so on. And I work mostly with B2B startups and large enterprises, and I've been doing this for the last 20 years, almost 20 years now. And I take this opportunity to share whatever I'm learning. We are living in exciting times, and a lot of changes is happening right now across the industry thanks to AI and automation. And my goal is to impart and share as much as I can in these webinars. All right. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay. All right, so let's get started. So we are going to deep dive into all the Q&As that we can gather right now on what is HubSpot ABM and how it helps B2B sales, part 2. Which HubSpot CRM features are most effective for implementing an ABM strategy and managing target accounts? So HubSpot CRM features. Now, HubSpot is one of the few CRM and platform out there which actually has ABM tools. Many people may not be very well aware of it, but HubSpot has inbuilt account-based marketing tools that you can use to effectively do your account-based marketing. Okay, so the first answer is yes, HubSpot has those tools and tool set and features to do account-based marketing. Okay. It also has account-based dashboard and reporting and other tools that you can use for your ABM. And HubSpot is very flexible. That means, it can create custom fields and custom properties and segmentation, and you can play around a lot with HubSpot, right? That's the beauty of HubSpot. Okay, and HubSpot also has inbuilt workflows. That means you can create workflows. And you can practically do whatever you want when it, with all these tools set and the list and the dynamic list, the static list, the workflows, and the ABM tool set and the contacts and the deals and like so on. So HubSpot is overall like a package, very well designed. If any company wants to do account-based marketing. So let me just quickly take you through some of those tool sets. So if you go into HubSpot, I mean, this is my own HubSpot instance. So if you go into HubSpot and then you have all these tool set, right? These are the CRM features like contacts, companies, leads. This is marketing features. If you go under the marketing, you get the campaigns, the email, the social. I'm going to come down to the ads and the intent as well. Okay, and we have something called as journeys. If you go into the Sales Hub, this is where you will find the bunch of tool set that we're talking about, right? So Sales Hub, if you have taken Sales Hub Pro, then you will have all these tool set that you can use, and under that you have what we call as the target accounts. So basically, you can make a list of those target accounts and mark them as tiers. Set up the lifecycle stage, okay, and you can create the ideal customer profile tiers, right? And you can put all those bunch of accounts into those particular tire, and you can, just create views, and then you can run your ABM. Basically you can run your workflows on top of that. All these target accounts that you're going to create here and you're going to populate here will in turn populate dynamic list in the backend, right? And with those dynamic lists, you can run workflows on top of it. And then you can, do whatever you want to do. You want to send them an email, send them SMS, WhatsApp, retargeting ads. So you can do a bunch of stuff together. So HubSpot is very well tuned for this kind of tool set that you can use to do your account-based marketing, right? The idea is to identify the accounts, right? And then identify the contacts within the account, and then, try to reach out to them through different channels, right? So if HubSpot natively does not support certain channels directly, HubSpot does support WhatsApp and SMS, but many a times, the customer, they want to use some third-party applications. So you can always integrate SMS and, like Twilio or WhatsApp integration, through some WhatsApp API, and you can send all those messages to your target account, right? If you wish to. All right. So there is a bunch of tools. You can use all these things. I'm going to keep coming back to this, and I'm going to explain a little bit more in the coming hour. So, okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. How do you use HubSpot workflow automation for ABM without making outreach feel generic? Okay, that's a very good question, actually. So suppose you make a list of companies and then you find those contacts, and then you want to do an outreach which is not very generic. For example, you want to move beyond high first name and company name and stuff like those. Then HubSpot now has a lot of features, and you can use third-party API integration to do a lot. Okay, first and foremost, try to segment as much as possible. Okay, in terms of tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and then based on life cycle stages and lead statuses and industry and role and stage. So you can segment as much as possible, right? That's point number one, right? Then in the emails, you can use as many merge fields as possible, which is standard personalization. That means high first name, company name, industry, role, stage. You can use as much as possible. But now HubSpot is providing what we call as the intent-based information as well. And on top of that, you can always integrate HubSpot with third-party data like 6sense and lead feeders and the factors and others, intent-based platform to gather the intent information, right? For example, I'll give you an example here. So if you go to the HubSpot and then you create a list of all the tier 1 companies, for example, right? You make a list of all the tier 1 companies, and then based on that, you create a dynamic list, right? And then based on the dynamic list of the companies, you basically go ahead and create a contact list for that particular company, right? That's step number one. And then you try to segment them as much as possible in terms of industry and the role and like so on. Once you're done with that, that means you have a certain level of segmentation that you have done, right, in terms of data, right? Okay. Now, on top of that, you can then, call up, through HubSpot integration, third-party external data, for example, 6sense data or Crunchbase data or others. You can enrich the data, right, of HubSpot, right? And if there is any intent data that is coming up, you can enrich the intent data as well. HubSpot also provides some level of intent data, so which I can show. If you want to use the native HubSpot intent data, then you can go to this buyer intent. I'll show it again. Go to marketing, go to buyer intent, and HubSpot does natively provide a lot of intent data, right? For example, you want to reach out to your target audience based on the visit that they have done, right? For example, if you've got 100 target audience in a particular segment, and suddenly out of that 100 target audience, I mean, when I say target audience, I mean target accounts. Out of that 100 target accounts, there is certain account which has recently done a page visit for your website, important page visit. It can be a bunch of existing customers as well, looking for new product or services from you, and they are visiting. So you will get this kind of data, right? And then based on this, this can also be fed back into those segments, right? Okay, so you can create a workflow and you can push those information. So for example, this is a web visitor intent. That means this particular company who has visited my website recently in last 14 days, and if it matches my ICP, that means it is a tier 1 company. Okay, if it matches my ICP, then I can automatically trigger a workflow, right? And I can personalize it, right? For example, I can say, hey, this and that, you have been checking out our product or a service page, let me know if you want more information, or this is a case study that you can go ahead and download it, right? So now the personalization is now beyond just hi, first name, company name, and like so on. You can create very, very personalized messaging, okay, and you can trigger a workflow based on the action, the behavior, and the intent that they are having. Around this whole area, HubSpot has already launched what they call as the Breeze AI, which is an enterprise solution. I am not going to cover Breeze AI in these webinars. Possibly I'll create a separate webinar series on Breeze AI once I get access to that as well. So I don't have access to Breeze AI as of now. The moment I get it, I'm going to do a complete demo of that as well. But there are so many different intent signals. Right? The intent signals can be external also. For example, a job posting signal, or a tech, a hiring signal, or a M&A signal, or a shift in the tech that they are using, the shift in the tech stack that they are using. So it can be multiple different segments, signal, and you can source those externally, and you can enrich those segment and list and those contact and company information separately to create more personalized outreach, right? So there is a lot of personalization that can be added, right? And intent is not just visitor intent. There are different type of intent, so you can uncover your in-market companies visiting your site. For example, your existing customer list, they are visiting your site over and over again. Maybe they are looking for an extra add-on services or a product, right? And there are other you can set up your intent, right? Define the intent criteria. Just basically, if you have used Apollo or 6 Sense, you know what I'm talking about, right? So you can put up a criteria. Hey, this company in this particular region, say in Germany, looking for HR software. Right? I'm just making this up, but okay, you can set up those intent criteria, and then we start populating those companies directly here. Okay, so HubSpot will do the hard work of populating those companies continuously in the backend, and then you can create an ABM strategy on top of. So intent, when I say intent, it is more than just a website visitor. Okay, so it has a visiting insight. Plus, you can also set up your own intent criteria by which HubSpot has their internal database, and they have recently acquired Clearbit. I have said that multiple times. So they have access to the data, and you can get those information as much as possible, right? So we have visitors, then we have research, right? You can just put up the research topic as well. Okay, so HubSpot will also, based on the topics that you are putting up, HubSpot will also start putting those intent signals, right, in this. So this is visitor intent, and these are target market. That means based on the criteria that you have put up, it will start populating the companies in the target market. All right. Okay. So I think it sheds some light into the question that was there. How to use the intent and the workflow automation without outreach feeling generic. So in order to do that, you've got to start using intent signals. If you want to more about it, we have already created a lot of content around that, and we'll keep creating more content around that. So just please follow our channel. I will keep talking about this. Okay, so let's get on to the next one. How can HubSpot CRM and LinkedIn Sales Navigator be leveraged together to identify, prioritize, and engage high value accounts. Okay, so the question here is how can you leverage the HubSpot platform and something like a LinkedIn Sales Navigator to work together to identify, prioritize, and engage high value accounts, right? So Sales Navigator is a fabulous tool. It runs on top of LinkedIn, which is the world largest professional database for professional network. And HubSpot is your own platform, your own data, right? If it can be merged together, then the possibilities are just endless, right? So through the LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you can actually identify and qualify a lot of target accounts, right? You can find, and then you can sync those leads, those data to come into HubSpot CRM, right? Uh, there are native integration available between HubSpot and LinkedIn. You can do that. If you need any help, you can reach out to us on that as well. But all this stuff is already there. You can just use it, sync it. And then, for example, you want to reach out to all the heavy engineering companies in, in say, Canada, right? Or Toronto, region near Toronto, who are heavy engineering company and they are, between $50 million and $200 million. And okay, they are working on certain, they are working on real estate companies. So all this kind of criteria you can put in LinkedIn Sales Navigator. You can make a target list of companies, accounts, as well as the people, and then you can push it back into the right. You can sync it and you can push it back into the HubSpot CRM, and then you can go ahead and create the target account list, right? So in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and like so on. And then you can, basically prioritize your engagement based on all these signals, all this information that has come out from LinkedIn. So this is a very tried and tested ABM method. If you're not using it, please use it. The LinkedIn Sales Navigator will be used to identify and collect and enrich the data into your HubSpot. And HubSpot will be used to process that data and to do an outreach. So HubSpot has all the tools that is available to do an outreach in terms of email, SMS, WhatsApp, ads, all of that. So if these two platforms can be integrated, and if you have a strategy to work with both of them together, it becomes super powerful. So please go ahead and do that if you're not doing it already. All right. Okay, so let's get into the next one. How can HubSpot CRM help align marketing and sales team to execute account-based campaign effectively? Okay, so sales and marketing alignment. It's an interesting question. Okay, so HubSpot has both marketing data, marketing hub, and sales hub, and it has got service hub. So HubSpot is an all-in-one platform which can do a lot of stuff. And that's the beauty of HubSpot. That means it is a shared database. You are not integrated. You don't have to switch from one system to another system. A lot of stuff can be done directly from within HubSpot when it comes to sales or marketing or both, right? So in many ways, the sales team and marketing team can be within the HubSpot system, and their life can be super easy when it comes to coordination and communication and collaboration. It's super easy to do that. Okay, you have to have a plan. You have to have a transaction analysis. For example, at what point of time the role of marketing ends and the role of sales starts, and what is the help that salespeople needs from marketing team in terms of enrichment, in terms of enablement, and like so. So that sort of a process needs to be built at the strategy level. Don't expect, just because you have HubSpot, your life will be easy. No, HubSpot will work based on your strategy, and the better the strategy, the better the HubSpot is going to work for you, right? So you've got to come up with a strategy in terms of your process of what is the best process that by which the sales and the marketing team can work together. And then HubSpot has the tools and the tool set and the features and the capabilities and the customization available to customize it according to your needs, right? And this is where technical people like us comes into the picture. Okay. You can also have, HubSpot also has very powerful dashboards and reporting features. So you can have a shared dashboard, shared reporting features available, and you got to build it, right? There needs to be a HubSpot support team, both from the functional end as well as from the technical end, continuously working with both marketing team as well as sales team to create this sync that is needed for the sales and marketing team to work together, right? So it starts with the process, it starts with your own company, starts with the team, and then it needs to be replicated into HubSpot. How should success be measured in HubSpot ABM campaigns? What metrics matters the most? What metrics matters the most? Okay, when you do an ABM campaign, there are only a few things that matters. For example, if you have a list of target audience, tier 1 companies, 50 companies, tier 2, 200 companies, tier 3, 300 companies, and like so on. So what you should, on the high level, what you should look into is the account engagement, right? How much you are engaging with the account and how much the accounts are engaging with you. And it needs to be multi-stakeholder. That means, in an account, you may be engaging with multiple different players, like, for example, decision makers, end users, stakeholders, influencers, whatever is. You might be at any given point of time dealing with multiple different stakeholders. So the engagement needs to be across all the stakeholder and across multi-channel. So it needs to have this effect by which you are able to measure your engagement, right? The higher the engagement, the better it is, right? And engagement can be so many things. For example, somebody visiting your website, downloading your case study, replying to your email, opening your email, answering your call. It can have different level of engagement. All of that needs to be recorded into HubSpot. Okay. And then you need to then measure that with your pipeline impact on revenue influence. Right? Is there a pipeline effect? There are other more deals in the pipeline. Right? So the first thing that you need to measure is the account engagement, both on the company side as well as the contact side. The second thing is look at the pipeline effect. Is the pipeline getting full? Are you getting more deals? And at the end of the day, is there any revenue influence or impact? Right? And then you need to look at, hey, you know what? Is there any impact on deal velocity and conversion rate? Right? Are you able to create more deals? And then once you create more deals, are you able to close deals faster? Okay, is it in any way affecting your affecting your conversion rate? So before you start the HubSpot ABM or ABM in general, make sure that you have some understanding of these numbers. Okay, as to what is your account engagement, what is the pipeline, how many deals are there, what is the revenue coming up from which segment, what is the deal velocity, how much time does it take for on average for a deal to close. You've got to do that level of audit before you go ahead and do account-based marketing, or else you will not know where you start and where you're going to end and what your progress is going to be, right? So that's super important when it comes to ABM. I'm going to talk a little bit more about certain more features. Some accounts are more important than other accounts, right? So please use as much as possible lead scoring. Okay. So if you are using lead scoring and that helps your sales team and marketing team to score those accounts and contacts, okay, which improves the conversion rate, right? It saves time by your sales team focusing more on more priority account as compared to the less priority accounts. So just ensure that you measure everything before you start the ABM, and then you use all these tool set, and then you also start measuring the impact of the ABM campaign that you're doing, right? So there is another very important tool set, which is journeys. Okay, this is rather new, but it's a very important tool set. Okay, you can now create personalized customer journeys to send them the right content to the right customer at the right. So now HubSpot has come up with this tool set which is visual in nature. So you can do a lot. For example, this is lead nurturing, right? Correct. So you can create as many paths as you want. For example, the deal is about to close, but somehow it got stuck. So you give them a last chance, right? Or something like that, give them a last chance to, or a discount, or, so that they become engaged again, right? You want to nurture a set of leads, right? So you continuously send them informational content, right? Case studies and white papers, information, newsletters, and then you keep categorizing them as to what the intent level that they are in, right? Are they high intent level, low intent level, mid intent level? I don't know whether you're able to see my screen fully, but you got to categorize, right? Okay, and based on which category it falls. For example, if it falls in the low intent category, then you trigger certain type of workflows, and send them, or stop following up with them, right? Or stop engaging with them. If they come under high intent or mid intent, then you can reach out to them, you can create a LinkedIn flow, you can send an email. So there is vast possibilities with this kind of visual journey flows that you can do that, right? And you can also map out the journey stage. Like, for example, journey stage is mid intent, right? And then if the journey stage is mid intent, then send an email, okay? Then send a white paper, or wait for 2 days. If they don't respond even after all your engagement, then just mark them as low intent, right? And if they do engage, they click it, they respond to it, then just make them high intent. From mid intent, you upgrade them to high intent, or even qualified. So that's totally up to you, but there's a lot of possibilities with this kind of visual journey that you can do. Okay, and the possibilities are just endless, right? So these are very visual workflows. As you can see, there are lead scoring here also happening, right? For every step that they are taking, you can score, you can, give points to that particular lead, or you can reduce points from those leads, and you can even assign, the intent categories or the tile level, right, to this, and, possibilities are endless. Okay, let's go back to our presentation. Is HubSpot ABM affordable for smaller businesses starting out? The answer is yes and no. Short answer is yes. I think as compared to the tool set, what HubSpot is providing, I sincerely feel, even though the price point is a little higher when it comes to HubSpot, for a smaller business, of course, not for large businesses. For large businesses, it's fine. I think it's cheaper than, it's lower cost than Salesforce and the other big ones like SAPs and all of that, and Microsoft Dynamics and all of that. HubSpot is relatively, in my opinion, lower cost as compared to these platforms. But if you're a small business, then possibly you can just start with the free CRM. You can just start with Sales Hub. If you cannot afford Marketing Hub, you can start with the starter plan. Even the starter plan does not give you enough tool set to do a lot of stuff, but it's a good way to start. You have to only pay $10 to $20 to $30 a month for one user. I think most of the businesses should be able to afford it. Okay, and focus on few high value lead accounts for ROI. So in terms of pricing, if you just want to do ABM, then go ahead and just take the Sales Hub and just use the sequences and the ABM based tool set. Having said that, you will still need to create workflows, so you will need some sort of a Marketing Hub access as well. So overall, if you want a number, you will have to shell out at least anywhere between $600 to $800 to use HubSpot effectively for ABM. Okay, the starter plan, even though you can start, it does not provide all the tool set. There are a lot of limitations. So I get that question very often. Hey, how much do I need to pay? I mean, if you in order to use these tools effectively, you have to pay anywhere between $600 to $800, depending on which part of the world you are, or $1,000 you have to pay. Right? So I do understand that this is a little pricey for many of the small businesses out there. Okay, but for the starter, just start leverage the free tools and the resources for testing, learning as much as possible. Okay. All right, I think that's pretty much it from my end today. I hope that you enjoyed it. I totally enjoy doing these sessions, answering these most frequently asked questions. If you have more questions, just go to the comment section and ask your question. We'll try to, put all of them together and create a new video around that. Please do subscribe to our channel. It's Insightstap, and please follow us on LinkedIn. We produce a lot of content, and it's totally for free. We do not expect anything in return. Just your little thumbs up and like. So thank you so much for joining in. You have a nice day. Thank you. Bye-bye.